That's right, 14.3, right in proportions. I'm ready. Are you? How can I organize information when writing proportions? I know everybody just loves to get their homework done as fast as possible, but the concept of organizing information into proportions is crucial to being able to actually use proportions to solve problems. And when I say information, it has to do with things like, are we talking about money? Are we talking about the number of something? We've got to organize that information in a way that makes sense in the proportion. And rather than have a key idea, I think the best way to learn this is to start straight into an example. So, question, how can I write a proportion from words? Okay. You pay $6 for 2 monkeys. That's a pretty good deal. How much do you pay for 4 monkeys? Okay, a couple things that are going on here. How much do you pay? That means we don't know the cost, but we know the number of monkeys. So I'm going to organize this information into a table. There are 2 different measures going on, money and some number of monkeys. So number of monkeys, total cost. For 2 monkeys, I had to pay $6, or you had to pay $6 for an unknown amount of money, 4 monkeys, right? So do you see how total cost organizes all of our money, and the number of monkeys is just organized on this row? We already know the answer, I hate that word answer, is 12 bucks. I know it's 12 bucks, you know it's 12 bucks. That's not what's important. What's important is that there are 2 ways to write this information as a proportion. We can use columns, up and down, or rows, left to right. So let's use columns first. This is a column. This is a column, up and down, right? And so in other words, we're going to have in each ratio 2 different units, total cost and monkeys. And I think you probably remember from long ago, we always put money, or it's just best to put money in the top. So $6 for 2 monkeys. I'll just put an M for monkeys. Now, if this is going to be proportional, that means equal fractions, then this next column also has to be arranged with the money on the top and the monkeys on the bottom. I should say money in the numerator, monkeys in the denominator. Total cost, X, number of monkeys, 4. That's using columns. Now, are these proportional? Yeah, you can see that these are proportional. And there are 3 ways to see if these are proportional. Well, we'd have to solve this, but in other words, 3 ways to solve this, to figure out what X is. You can go vertical, horizontal, or you can use cross products. We'll get to cross products later. Let's just use horizontal and vertical. Horizontally, how would I get from 2 to 4? I'd multiply by 2. So then what do I have to multiply 6 by? 2 as well, because I'm really multiplying by 2 over 2, which is multiplying by 1. And you get 12 bucks. You can also solve vertically. How do you get from 2, the number 2, to 6? You multiply by 3. So what do I need to multiply 4 by? Also by 3. I know we've never done this vertical thing, and I'm going to show you why it works in a second. 4 times 3 is 12 bucks. Here's why it works. In the column method, we have different units in each ratio. So here's a ratio. We have money, we have monkeys. But what if we split it up separately? What if we split it up so that the number of monkeys was one of our ratios and the cost was another ratio? So let's do monkeys over here. So when I have 2 over 4, that's the same as $6. I should have put monkeys. $6 over X dollars. Now, if you see here, if I solve this, if I figure, remember solving is finding the value of the variable, right? So we're finding the value of X. So I'm using the word solve. I didn't say that over here. But how do I get from 2 to 6? I multiply by 3. Interesting. That's this. 2 to 6, multiply by 3. Then how can I get from 4 to X? I also multiply by 3. Here that is, from 4 to X, and I get 12 bucks. So we can solve these proportions whether we use columns or rows horizontally or vertically. To get from 2 to 4, I multiply by 2. I could have multiplied 4 by 1/2 as well. But then to get from 6 to x, I also multiply by 2, and I get 12 bucks. Okay, so we have vertical and horizontal, but more importantly for now, just you can write proportions from tables in how many ways? Columns, rows, 2 ways. I don't know why I capitalize columns and not rows, but whatever. You can use rows or you can use columns. And one of those will have the same units in the ratio, and one of those will have different units in the ratio. Either way, you will calculate the same value for x. It doesn't matter how you set it up. X will still be 12 bucks, regardless of how you set it up. Okay, that ends part 1 of this video. You're doing a great job. I'll see you in a second for part 2.